I hate to break it to you. They're not your friends. They're not your friends. And anyone who knows me knows that I value the importance of you being still enough to know your voice, to know when to pause, to know when to pull away so that you can get clear about a few things, to sharpen your level of discernment. Those are like the common practices that I have that have kept me and that has rewarded me greatly because I've never gone against my own intuition and my own voice. They are not your friends. And I'm not sure where we got the tiers mixed up, okay? Because there are acquaintances, there are coworkers, people that you've worked with, and by default, you are in communion with them. There are friends, right? And then there's family. And usually that friend and family is pretty close because we know that we have friends that feel more like family than actual family does. But there's a feeling that you get when you know that someone's spirit and energy agrees with you. There's a spirit of like, I feel at home here when you connect with someone genuinely. And then that's the first step. The other thing is that you begin to identify their patterns. They're caring. They check in on me. They ask about not only my well-being, but those connected to me. And I know as a friend, I don't simply ask people like, how are you doing? If I know that they have a child, then I'm interested in how's your child doing? If I know that they have a sick parent, then I'm interested in how their parent is doing. How's your grandmother down in Mississippi? Whatever it is, like there is a different realm and a feeling that comes when you are genuinely kind and consider yourself a friend to someone. But you have just simply made everybody your friend. You've given everyone permission to come into the house, wipe their foot on the mat or not, and just come into your sacred space. And then you've identified them as a friend. They're not a friend. They're probably an acquaintance, maybe a coworker, even at best a stranger, to be honest with you, a familiar stranger, but they're not a friend. And you have to start defining that differently. Friends check in on you in the midnight hour. Friends want to know what's happening with you. You don't have to. Well, let me not say that because there are friends that I love and adore and we don't speak often, but when we speak, it's almost like we can catch up to where we last left off. But I want to say that they don't take breaks in the sense that they don't know anything about what's going on within your life. You give the friend title so easily and then you wonder why you're a little confused. You're confused because it's not a friend. And you have to be very mindful of that title and what you say. That's the definition to that title. Because friends put your heart at peace. They're not jealous of you. They know how to celebrate you without feeling like, oh, that takes away from me. Friends enjoy to see you succeed. They root for you. They're cheering you on. They got your back. They may not be within your vicinity. They may not live in the same state as you, but you just got that feeling. You just have that feeling where you know I'm at home with this person and this person loves me and cares for me and wants the best for me. They're cheering me on. They're not your friend if they are jealous of your accomplishments. They're not your friend if they don't support and uplift you through the valley season, through the high seasons in your life, through the seasons of accomplishments. I got stuck there. Accomplishments. They are there. They're present. They're not taking away from your light and they don't see your light as an offense. That's a friend. And you have to start paying attention to how people show up in your life and stop giving easy access simply because you've known them then, or you grew up with them, or you worked with them, or they were cool. Congratulations. That's wonderful. But in the midnight hour, when you're in the trenches and when things need to be sifted and sorted, are they praying for you? Do they know what's happening with you? Can you trust them? Are they part of the gossip realm, right? They're part of the gossip crew where they just talk about everybody else and what everybody else has got going on. And, you know, they're in that circle. And that's not a friend. Be selective about who you call friend. Be selective about who you allow to penetrate within your sacred bubble. Your energy is a form of currency that everybody cannot afford. Everyone can't pay for that. Everyone is not as corny as it sounds, everyone is not at the table. Everyone should not be let into the house. And it's okay if you had to learn. And if you're going through some things, it's okay if God is revealing some things to you about certain people. That's okay. You're sifting and you're sorting. Then place them in the category that they belong. Stop being so quick to call somebody a friend and they don't ask you about how your children are doing. They don't offer you support, right? And it's not mandatory. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that someone has to do something for you, but it's sort of the natural flow of things, right? It's sort of like the natural thing to do. When I've experienced some really hard moments, I know the friends immediately who rallied behind me. I know who showed up for me instantly. I know who prayed for me. I know who sent me a card in the mail that I wasn't expecting. I know who checked up on me. I know who affirmed me. I know who sent me a morning text message with a quote or a scripture. And that's important. So before you give people the title of friend, be mindful of whether or not they're showing up in that capacity. And if they're not, it's okay. Everyone is not assigned to you. Your sacred circle might have 5 people. 5 if you're really blessed, right? Usually it's about 4 or 3, like the sacred inclusion. Sacred, like that small nucleus of people that you can trust, that you can say, you got my back. I can tell you everything. I trust you. If something were to happen, this is where I need you to go, X, Y, and Z, that sort of thing. So stop saying that they're your friend. They're not your friend. They don't encourage you. They don't uplift you. They don't support you. They don't cheer you on. They got a weird energy when you're celebrated and they're not. They have a weird energy when you're elevated and they're not. They do the looking and the monitoring, but never the uplifting, never the praying, never the encouragement and the fortifying. And you got to sit with yourself long enough within your spirit that you can tell the difference. You got to know. That's why stop being afraid, y'all, to sit with yourself, to journal, to pray, to get clarity, so that when a foreigner comes into your environment, you can, like, every alarm should go off. Foreigner, something isn't right about this person. But you got to know yourself long enough for you to be able to get to know others. You got to know yourself first so you can say, I know how I operate and I know how I show up. And that's actually opposite of how I do things. So therefore you get canceled out. That's the way that it works. They're not your friend. Start to stand bold and with authority and with courage to know where people are in your life. And it's okay. Maybe they're kind and maybe they're nice, but they're not your friend. Know the difference. Trust your intuition and the clarity of your mind to make wise decisions so that you don't have snakes within your garden. When you know that you are as pure and as calm as a dove, when you know that your intentions are pure, your mind is pure, you don't hate on people, you want the best for others, well, then you can't have the opposite of that within your circle and within the circumference. No, that's not going to work. All right? Be selective about who's around you and stop giving everybody that title. I love y'all. Take this lesson and run with it. Today was a stern one, right? Well, I hope it helped. Check the description if you want any resources. I'm Demi DeBatty. Thank you for tuning into my channel. I don't take it lightly. I appreciate it. If you clicked for a reason. So hopefully it benefited you and supported you. Hopefully you took something away. I love you. Stay safe. Be great. See you next time.